Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, a super fantastic sparkling tune-up Tuesday. So how was your tune-up Tuesday? What changes and tweaks and changes are you making in your daily life, in your life in general, in your business, in your work? I had a great day. It was awesome. I didn't have a lot of work to do this morning, which is when I save time for individual clients that I do work for. So I got to do some genealogy research for a client. I got to do some designs. Got to play around for a little bit. I found our Logic Puzzle app. I love Logic puzzles. Those are the ones that have all the squares, and you got to say, sort out who did what, when, and how, and with what color, and what make and model, and all that sort of stuff. I love those puzzles, and I thought, I wonder if they have, they've got an app for 500, which is a card game I absolutely love. Got taught that at my grandparents' place, and we used to play it together as a family and everything else. One of the three main card games we played, and so I typed in the Logic puzzles and came up with this one. I was like, oh, yay! So I've been playing around with those, and then had a really nice lunch today. Was really cool. I had air fried cauliflower hash browns, and if you've never had cauliflower hash browns, they are awesome. They come frozen. I bung them in the air fryer. It takes like 20 minutes in the air fryer. You flip them halfway, actually 18 minutes, and you flip them halfway through. And then I had this what's it called? It's like a pate, but it comes in a roll. And you just slice it, spread it, whatever. So I put that on top with mashed up avocado on top of that. Oh, so good. And I had a little puppy sitting next to me because she loves cauliflower. And so she was happy to munch on these air-fried cauliflower hash browns. And they taste just like potato hash browns. They are so good. And they come in the patties. They're like about this big. And they're so good. And now I have room in my freezer to get 2 bags when I next do the grocery shopping. It's really sad when you got to come down to like, what do I want to put in my freezer? How much space do I have? And since I really like these hash browns and their vegetables, but yeah, so they're really good. So I had them for lunch today, and then went to work at Mailbox Power on the help chat, and it was a pretty quiet afternoon there. And I thought, for the first day back after a week off, that was a pretty cool day. So it was nice to get back into it again. And and so it's just been a nice week easing back into things. It was really nice. So I enjoyed it today. I had a good day, and I have the manifesting group that I belong to on Facebook. I've got this one post that people keep liking the picture that's on there. They keep commenting on the story that's on there, and it just kind of validates the path that I'm on right now. And so I'm very appreciative for the feedback everybody gives about it, and that sort of thing too. So it's kind of cool. And thought more about, and what I could think about was, how am I going to start this next book? What am I going to do? So I've been, yesterday I got to do a lot of pondering about the book, and today I did some more pondering on the book. So we'll see where that goes. Haven't actually started doing any writing or editing or reading back over what I already have. Not sure if I'm just going to start again from scratch or go in and edit what I already have. Haven't decided on that yet. But anyway, so how was your day? How's your story coming along? What's our question today? What changes? What is one major life-changing event that you have gone through? I don't even know why I wrote that question when I wrote about, what the heck did I put that there? Because then I was thinking everything that I have gone through in life, from all the moves that we have done within New Zealand when I was growing up, moving from one country to another, being married, being a widow, living in an RV. There's so much to tell. So, and I thought, this is all part of my story, and the major part of the story we're going to be talking about is Brad's cancer journey. So we will be writing about that and talking about it and some of the things I learned along the way as a caregiver and as a patient advocate, because I had to be his advocate as well, because there were times that he was out of it. And we had this bitch of a nurse one time. Her name was Pam. She was a pain nurse. And she came in to check, and he had the morphine pump. And it was click to go off so often, but they look at how many clicks that you do, thinking you're getting the morphine and through the IV and stuff. And she comes in and Brad was like out of it. He had spent the entire night with an NG tube down his nose and into his gut and all of that. So hadn't got a lot of sleep, and he was like exhausted. So he's like out of it. And she comes in and she gets all snippy. She goes, "He hasn't touched his pump in 48 hours. I said, because he had no pain. Yeah, he's supposed to be using it once every 4 hours to stay ahead of the pain. I said, if he's not in pain, he's not going to take it. I am not going to force my husband to take medication he does not need. If he's in pain, he will take it. But he hasn't had any pain for the last 48 hours. He has had no need to press the pump. Oh, he's so, and so she starts going on all this, and she said, we're going to have to move him. And why is he not on a CPAP? I said, he's not on a CPAP because he has lost weight, and because of the weight that he has released, he no longer needs a CPAP. He doesn't have the sleep apnea issues he used to have when he had the extra weight. Well, he needs to be monitored. I said, he is not being monitored. And so she goes stalking off out of the hospital. This is one of the guys stalking off out of the hospital room. Brad's completely oblivious to what's going on. He just slept through the entire thing, and she was getting really snippy and a little loud. And so she comes back in with the staff nurse or the matron. I'm not sure which. She was in charge of all the nurses that the charge nurse, I guess, the one that was in charge of the teams that were on the floor that day. And her name was Tu, and she was such a sweetheart. And so she's going on about, and so this woman Pam is going on about Brad needing to be on the CPAP or needing to be monitored. He should be using the pain stuff because he's on narcotics. I said he hasn't had narcotics for 48 hours, so therefore he does not need to be monitored. And so she starts riveting on, and I turn around and says, his oxygen intake has been perfectly fine. It's anywhere between 98 and 99. 97 and 99. And I said, consistently. And she goes, well, that's because when they wake him up, he takes a big gasp of breath, and that puts his oxygen levels up. And I'm like, that's bullshit. And I'm having it out with it. Tu quietly goes over, gets the little monitor thingy that does the temperature and blood pressure and all of that, goes over, takes the little clippy thing that goes onto the finger to measure the oxygen. She doesn't say a word. Brad's out to it. This woman's not yelling, but her voice is loud. Brad's completely out to it. And she goes over and sticks a little thing on his finger. Boom, it goes up to 99% oxygen. And Tu just looks at her and says, it takes the thing off the finger. She points it so that she can see it, takes it off his finger, puts it all away. And I said, he is not going to be monitored. And I said, there is no need for it. You just saw there that he's got 99% saturation. He's asleep and he's got 99% saturation. Why does he need to be monitored? He's supposed to be on a CPAP. I said, he's not on a CPAP because he's released 60 pounds and he no longer has sleep apnea because it is weight related. And his sleep apnea has gone away because of that. So he doesn't need a CPAP. Well, he's supposed to be on a CPAP because he's on narcotics. I said, he hasn't taken any narcotics for 48 hours. So we're going around in this circle and all of that. She says, well, fine then. She says, if he's not going to be monitored, you have to release the hospital of all these. Blah, 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 blah. And I said, no. Then she just looked at me. I said, I'm not releasing you guys of anything. I am not signing any paperwork, and there's no way you can make him be monitored. Well, he has been. And so I finally I thought, fine. She can hear from the man himself. So I go over and I says, one moment. And I go over and I gently shake Brad awake. I explained to him the situation. He's half asleep and he goes, don't need to be monitored. Oxygen between 97 and 99%. And he's back out again. She goes, well, that's what I wanted in the first place was a response from him. I said, have you ever had an NG tube down your throat, down through your nose, down your throat into your gut? Have you ever tried to sleep with one of those on there? I said, he is exhausted. He's been through major surgery. He's had that tube down his nose for all night. I said, was it 24 hours? I think he had that under there. No, he'd had it there for 15 hours by the time she came in. I said, the poor guy's exhausted. He hasn't slept in over 24 hours. No wonder that he couldn't respond to you. And she got all I said, so that's why he didn't respond. I'm here as his advocate. I am his wife. I have authority to do this stuff. And so she goes all in a huff and stomps like that. We never signed anything, and Brad never went on monitoring. And I felt a little guilty about it later on. And so I went up to the charge nurse and I said to her, at the nurse's station, she goes, oh, what can I do for you? And I says, was I a little rough with her? She goes, oh, no, you were fine. She says, we all hate her anyway. Like, oh, I'm very sorry that I got that snippy, but she was just rubbing me the wrong way. And so yes, so that's one of the stories that we had. One of our little fun things of being a patient advocate, knowing what is going on, what is happening, and everything else. And anytime they came into the room to give a medication, I was like, what are you giving him and how much? And the nurses that worked with us regularly got to know that as soon as they walked in the medication, I would be asking that question, and they would turn around and say, okay, we've got this. And I was always there for the doctor's visits in the mornings on when we're back east there. And so I was always there when the doctors went around, and I took notes. And so any medication change I took note of. So when they next came in to give a medication, what are you giving them? Why are you giving them that? So I could make sure that I had them on the new medication regime instead of the old one. And yeah, there's a lot of high stress at that time. But yeah, that's just one of our stories from that time. And that one will definitely be in the book. I may change the names. Oh, I should have changed the names when I recorded this. Doesn't think of that. Anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fun. Oh, before I go, Networking Riches 2.0 online this weekend. It is going to be amazing. They have new content this weekend. And I can't wait to see it. They are rebooting Networking Riches with some new content. And I'm sort of like, oh, I want to see. I'm just excited to go see it. So if you'd like to come along as my guest, just go to havetonetwork.com and you'll get to come as my guest. So go out, have a super fantastic sparkling evening. We'll catch you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Winning Wednesday. Hey, Canada.